fans of LA Knight, yeah, are upset that podcasters, former wrestlers, YouTubers are all saying the same thing. LA Knight, he is a gimmick ripoff of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. But why are people saying that? Why does everybody come to the same conclusion about this guy? I'm going to tell you why in this very short video. LA Knight, his character is basically what would happen if one of those guys from the Attitude Era came into wrestling today. The way he walks, his swagger, his talk, his confidence is exactly what would happen if The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin from 96 showed up in 2023. The reason why he got so quote unquote over was A, he had a catchphrase that's easy to say, easy to remember, but also because the WWE audience and wrestling audience in general skews older. The average age of a WWE customer is something like 50 years old. So most of these people were children or very young adults during WWE's golden attitude era, and they want it back so bad. This is why there's the narrative that everything Vince McMahon does is evil, because Vince McMahon, he created the attitude era and then he had to destroy it. He went to PG, he went after the money, he went public. People are upset because it took away their golden era of wrestling. So when they see LA Knight, it gives them something from their childhood. It gives them a call back to when times were simpler, when wrestling was simply characters, over the top, brawling. That's what they like from LA Knight. That's why people connect with him so much. And LA Knight himself started wrestling in 2003, and guess who was the number one wrestler in the world at that time? It was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Also, what a lot of people don't know is that LA Knight was on a show called The Hero that was also hosted by, you guessed it, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So LA Knight has been around. He's been a fan of The Rock. And I'm pretty sure he would admit all this. So this is why when Kevin Nash and Jeff Jarrett and when other people point out that, hey, yeah, it's the same gimmick, they're not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but they're just calling it for what it is. A spade is a spade. It's okay when it's Dolph Ziggler and we're all saying, Dolph Ziggler, you stole Shawn Michaels' gimmick. But when it's LA Knight, for some odd reason, fans have a hard time digesting that pill. LA Knight did the right thing that he had to do for his career. And I personally do not criticize him in any way, shape, or form. But for some odd reason, when you make YouTube videos, everybody thinks you're negative. Do you know what LA Knight is doing? LA Knight is doing exactly what Blue Kane is doing. Yes, there is a Blue Kane. Look it up. There is an independent wrestler overseas in Europe who has developed a gimmick where he is Blue Kane. He is Glenn Jacobs' gimmick, but he just took it and reversed it. Instead of fire, he made his powers snow. Is Blue Kane a gimmick ripoff? 1,000%. But was it the right thing for that guy to do for his career? Yes, because I guarantee you Blue Kane was wrestling before he put that costume on and nobody cared. Now, I'm pretty sure his booking fee has gone up just a little bit. And finally, when we talk about people stealing gimmicks, another gimmick thief, if you want to call them that, or a gimmick borrower, or somebody that's holding on to a gimmick from the past, is Braun Breaker. Yes, I understand Braun Breaker's related to Scott Steiner, but he basically stole his gimmick. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year, Braun Breaker is calling people freaks and calling himself the genetic freak. And he's walking out to the ring with his freaks. Holla if you hear him. And Braun Breaker absolutely should do that. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure his Uncle Scott has probably bothered him to the point where he's like annoyed with the ideas and the pointers that he's getting from Uncle Scott. Sometimes borrowing a gimmick is the best thing for a character. Ric Flair did it. Hulk Hogan did it. Braun Breaker did it. And LA Knight did it as well.